mind today. It's episode 49, right?
49.
Hell yeah.
Put the ashtray here if you can.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to bark orders, I'm very direct.
I was going to say, right, do you know, have you ever had, or bought someone a gift, and months in advance, like, or in my particular case, it was a couple of days, but normally you buy someone a gift and you're like, oh, I think I'll have that. Buy them something shittier. Something like that, along those lines anyway. But the point I'm getting to is, one Christmas, I bought my mum, it was coming to, like, up to Christmas time, and I hadn't really bought them much. I got them a few things here and there, slippers, you know, my mum's favourite, candle, but I thought, no, there's something else I can get her. And that, you know, the van that used to come around, well, there'd be a sweetie van that'd come around. I went and got her a box of, like, Heroes. I don't even fucking know if I remember what are in Heroes, do you?
Yeah, so it's Cadbury's in it, so you're going to have your 12s, your Dairy Milks, your Fudges.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I remember, like, a timeout. Do timeouts even exist anymore? Remember those?
Yeah, they're still about, they're still knocking around.
They were fucking wild good back in the day. Timeouts in them dream things. What was it, Echoes?
Eclairs.
Echoes. Remember chocolate Echoes?
No.
Anyway, fuck chocolate. So I bought them Heroes, right, in the van. Already wrapped it up and that, put their name on it, back to my brother and my mum. And then put it on the little pile. So they knew. I was like, oh look, got you another present, mum. She's like, oh. And then I proceeded to get stoned that night, you know, as you do. Couple cheeky tokes, cheeky numbers. And got myself the famous munchies.
Fucking devoured them.
And yeah, oh no, apart from one. And left a note inside, like, sorry mum, I can't remember what I wrote, but it was something dumb anyway, something stupid.
I bought you some chocolate. I ate some.
And mate, she was pretty pissed off, understandably so. But I was just wondering if you've ever bought someone a gift and thought, oh, you know what, I'll keep that and buy them something, because they won't know. You know?
I'm a real piece of shit, and I'll tell you why. When I was younger, I'm more thoughtful. You know, I don't want to do a rehash of last episode, but some points that I kind of glossed over when I was talking about Asperger's is that you kind of don't put other people into your thoughts as your priorities, and it's something you kind of have to learn over time. Consideration, understanding, trying to really understand other people's feelings and trying to put them first. And so with my mum, this is shameful, right? But on her birthday about 12 years ago, I just bought her like a dozen boxes of green tea. And bought myself the Xbox, the new slim Xbox.
What, the Xbox S?
Yeah, that was it.
And the white one?
The black one, the black matte one. For the Xbox 360, remember the thin one that came out in 2010?
The 360 times, yeah, the slim 360, yeah. They give you.
That's how fucking thoughtless I was as a youngster. Yeah, piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, I was 18.
But no, to be fair, I was a piece of shit for what I done,
So now I'm more considerate, you know what I mean? I put a lot more thought.
Green tea though.
No, she was big on green tea back then. She still is now.
Yeah, but for a birthday.
It wasn't like
just
a big.
Loads of green tea. 14 boxes of green tea.
About a dozen.
That's taking the piss. That is.
It is taking the piss. I'm ashamed of myself, but I feel like this is kind of cathartic. This experience because
it's the savor minute.
It's almost like a confessions for modern day confessions if you're not religious. Because I don't think
we say plenty of shit on here that our mums probably never knew we did. My mum doesn't watch past the 2 minute mark, thankfully, so fuck it. No, I'm joking. I love my mum. I'm sure we all do. I'm sure everyone loves their mum.
Yeah. I was thinking about dreams. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, I had to mention something when you talk about eating all the heroes real quickly. One of my favourite Christmas movies happens to be Bad Santa.
With Billy Bob Thornton?
Billy Bob Thornton, yeah. It's a great one. Not for children. It's a fucking great film.
Sorry, mum. I'm a fucking loser.
We were shit sons, you know what I mean? Like green tea and eating the birthday present.
Yeah, but half of it was Dean's as well, so he was pissed off as well.
When I was about 6, right, I was learning about anatomy. My dad was very good at facilitating my kind of constant want to know about things. And he bought me a book on anatomy, and I'm looking at a diagram of the bladder. But obviously it's a 2-dimensional picture, right? So I'm thinking, oh, what happens when you fill it up? So one time, right, I just demolished a bottle of Coke one weekend when I'm staying at my mum's, because I stayed at hers on the weekend. I was with my dad like during the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I just demolished this, because in my child mind, I thought, oh, if I overfill my bladder, it would just come out my mouth. Not realizing that I didn't have the logic didn't exist back then that your bladder expands. I didn't know that because I'm looking at a 2-dimensional image.
Did you just make yourself sick anyway and think, oh, that's
No. But my mum and sister were like, "That's so selfish, Daniel. So selfish. You drank all our Coke." I was ashamed. So I did a little bit of studying on dreams, and funny enough, it's like I'm a big believer in trying to find what I call found time. The expression found time. So you might have a busy day, so you say to yourself, "Oh, if I want to read a book, then when can I read a book? Oh, when I'm waiting at the doctor's office, or when I'm waiting at the airport, or things like that." I'm a big advocate for that. So you broke your hand either yesterday or today, but you fell on it twice.
I think it was yesterday because it was a bit painful all fucking night. And then I just happened to fall on it again today, which obviously reignited the fucking...
We're having a midlife crisis where we're 30 years of age and we decided to start skateboarding.
But it's not deciding to. I already did back in the day. It just stopped for a while. We're just reigniting our love for it, you know? But yeah, the bumps and scrapes are a lot more painful to take as an adult than they were when you're a fucking kid, that's for sure.
We're not as bouncy. And you broke your hand, so I took you over to minor injuries in Weymouth. And while you were in the car, while you were in there and I was in the car, I'm halfway through this dreams documentary and I'm taking notes, and I've got plenty of things to talk about in regards to sleeping and dreams. Because a lot of it's very abstract, so I thought we can have some fun with this.
It's interesting, man. Everyone is on the same wavelength when you talk about dreams here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own experiences and...
Well, my general understanding of sleeping anyway, like the basic knowledge I had was we need it to repair tissue and, recalibrate our hormone levels and process. It's really important for processing our memory. I later find out in the documentary it's what's known as implicit memory. So you have explicit and implicit memory. Explicit memory is what's already at your disposal, that you could rattle off a bunch of things about your day. Yeah, go on then. Start early.
Explicit as in like XXX, fucking hardcore action.
EX.
Oh, okay.
EX. Explicit, right? So explicit memory is available there and then. Yeah. Someone says to you, "Oh, how do I get to the bus stop down at Victoria Square?" You'd use that explicit memory to give them directions because it's freely available there and then, right? Implicit memory is more sort of... I'm probably going to sound like a noob explaining this, but it's like different parts of your brain that's triggered like through emotions or through... it's a big player when it comes to trauma, implicit memory. You could get a smell of something that will take you back 10 years. That's implicit memory. It was unconscious. It wasn't freely available. And then something kind of brings it to the surface. So you put that in the
same category as like nostalgia?
Nostalgia can be associated with implicit memory.
Yeah.
Like I said, but it's things that aren't really... Because most of our memory comes from language. It comes from narrative. But things that are outside of that narrative, that's implicit memory, right? So that's why sleep's important. That's what I learned today. And the way it works is when it comes to sleep, is that you have what's called NREM, non-rapid eye movement, right? And then you have REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. Our eyes actually move when we're in this stage of sleep, but it can take about 90 minutes to get into that phase. And people argue, some people might argue that they'll have a little 10-minute, 20-minute power nap, and they actually have some form of dreams. Hypnagogic is very light sleep. So when you're in that NREM 1, it's like the first 20 minutes your thoughts start to, because our thoughts are going all the time, and they start to take on a more lucid kind of, and that's why it's called hypnagogic sleep. That's why sometimes if you're in an unfamiliar place or you're trying to have a little power nap on a bus or a train or somewhere that's not familiar, you're more alert. You're not as comfortable. You can
see when you're in hypnagogic sleep, you can kind of, you're asleep,
Yeah. And when you that's one moment you get those moments where you dream that you've fallen or tripping over something. It's called a Hypnic Jerk. That was a cool little term that I learned. Hypnic Jerk. So one time, right, I'm on the train going up to Corby, and I'm getting to about Southampton. I decided to have a little snooze. So I put my head down on the table like that. There's a guy next to me, 2 guys opposite me. I don't know these people, right? But
it's just a crowded train.
Just a crowded train, and I'm, light snoozing, hypnagogic sleep, and I had my Hypnic Jerk, like literally fucking, like quite violently, and it freaked them all out, really freaked them out, and I can't blame them. And they're like, "You missed your stop." I was like, No, my stop's not for another 3 hours.
you fucking everyone would freak out if you have a hypnotic
Hypnic jerk. So that's the first 20 minutes of sleep, and then you get to like NREM 2, which again it's going a little bit deeper this time. We're gonna go down this little rabbit hole. So NREM 2, you're starting to go a little bit deeper, but you still kind of got that hypnagogic sleep, right? So you get in these the dreams don't really have like, it's not like a full-fledged story like you get when you're in REM sleep. It's more kind of like auditory, visual, but it's kind of like little patches here and there. It doesn't really there's no real context to it. It's just kind of little images, little impressions that you get here and there, right? And then you get to NREM 3, and what's weird is that this process, it kind of like it goes back on in itself. So you got like NREM 1, NREM 2, NREM 3, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you don't really spend a lot of time in full REM sleep.
So it takes about 90 minutes to get to that REM sleep, that deeper sleep where you're less likely to wake up from things. That's why like you can sleep through certain things more than you could if it was just the beginning of your sleep pattern. Mm-hmm. And and this is the bit that really blew me away, right? So REM sleep is when dreams occur, but when I say dreams, I mean those proper like otherworldly experiences, right? So
like it's not like it's real. Like you wake up and you think, holy shit, is this real? You know what I mean? One of them ones.
Yeah, it's what's known as paradoxical sleep. Mm-hmm. So paradoxical sleep in REM is when your dreams start to take on a very abstract nature.
Because, right, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I remember having a dream so vivid that I'd won the lottery. And when I woke up, I was like, Mum, I'm going to the bank to like take some money out. Go to the bank and broke a shit. And like when I checked my bank, I was confused. I was like, I'm sure you know what I mean? Have you ever had that so vivid, like you actually thought real life was...
I don't know if I've spoke about this before, but during 2020, I went through a slight gambling phase. I eventually broke even, so I got away with it. I got away with it, but I was on the cusp. I was on the event horizon of the black hole. It nearly sucked me in. So I would literally have like these, almost like those weird waking dreams. I guess you could associate that with you coming out of that REM sleep and going into that hypnagogic sleep, that light sleep, and then you kind of come out of it and you kind of still half awake, half asleep sort of thing. And I'd wake up thinking I'd won, because you know the game that got me, it was the slot machine called
Eye of Horrors.
It wasn't quite Eye of Horrors. It was like something of the gods. It was an Egyptian game.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And it was a slot machine and all that. And if you got on the bonus board, sometimes it would put you on there. But
free spins and that.
Free spins, bonuses. you got I don't know if it was Hercules, but they had all these different Greek gods that would do certain things for you, and they'd really kind of boost up your money. And the bright lights, the excitement, the sounds of it. You think, oh my god.
The sounds. See, if you muted it, you wouldn't have got so into it. I'm telling you, it's the sounds that get you.
But here's the thing: gambling can only really come from a bad place, right? Emotionally. And I just kind of decided, I had that conversation with myself where I was a bit drunk, so it's kind of normal to have those apocalypse now scenarios where you're like looking at yourself in the mirror and you see like, you have that dialogue with yourself. And I actually remember saying to this day, I will not come into money. I will not come into wealth through gambling. It will only be through my own hard efforts. And since I've had that conversation, I've just never indulged in it. I don't even fuck around with the 2p machines, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because it's that dopamine.
That's how you get started early, mate.
Well, it goes back to last episode I was talking about the strokes, but strokes can be associated to dopamine. You know, that dopamine, that's a reward that goes on in our head. What do they call it? The reward hormone, maybe? Might be saying it wrong, but you get a little bit of dopamine. And I think that's what people get when they gamble. They love the chase. They love the high of winning. And it's so colourful and it's so enticing. And you want to just keep going. But then when it goes the opposite way around is when someone loses, say, hundreds, and they try to buy their way back to winning what they lost, trying to recoup those losses. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I remember you telling me the story. I mean, you can elaborate on it for me, but you said about the guy that lost 10 grand.
Oh, the taxi driver, yeah.
The taxi driver lost 10 grand and he spent 30 grand trying to win back that 10 grand or something.
Yeah, and only left with 10 grand, so he lost 30 grand pretty much.
And
he looked like he was going to like kill himself, let's be honest.
Like he had his soul taken from him.
Yeah, man, like pale in the face.
And it's not that as well. I feel sorry for how stupid people that feeling you must feel when that logic kicks in, when you kind of, because it's kind of like hypnotic, isn't it? It kind of puts you under its spell, and then when you finally snap out of it and you realize what you've lost.
So if they don't want to stop, you can't stop them. They've got to want to stop themselves, and that's kind of bad part about working for the bookies. It was kind of like you're supposed to encourage it, you know. I kind of hated it. Cause don't get me wrong, I do like a good like bet here and there. I'm not a gambler by any stretch of the imagination, but I know my limits and all that. Like,
do you know what I think's tough about gambling addiction? It's one of the few addictions that fall into that category where there's no physical symptoms of it. Like if you're a heroin addict, or if you've got an eating disorder, there are physical signs of it, and you can point it out, and maybe someone can intervene sooner. But when it comes to gambling addiction, there's so much stealth. It's kind of a stealth addiction, isn't it? Because it's easier to hide.
It's very seedy as well. If someone is a gambling addict, it's very like snaky and seedy. Because you do get like people stealing from their family to go and try and win it back. And if they win it back, we've got money. Like, but if they don't, then fuck.
Do you think people win it back? The rare scenarios where someone wins it back.
Oh no, they'll just put it straight back in.
They go back into.
Oh yeah, 100%. From my experience, anyway. And like honestly, gambling addiction is one of the easiest to fall into as well.
Yeah.
Because like you could fall into it winning, and be like, oh yeah, I love it, and then start losing, and then that's when I need to win it back. It changes.
I remember watching a documentary a few years back where it was a Channel 5. Channel 5 can be amazing for documentaries.
Sometimes then they whip on Jane McDonald on boats singing and shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking like total grandma shit.
No, but the good documentaries that they do they're more grounded. Channel 5 documentaries are more focused on the day-to-day in and outs of life, and one of them was about a guy that was a manager of a coral, and they're talking about these new machines that had come in, probably very similar to what I was playing 2 years ago on the phone, the Pharaoh game or whatever it's called. But they had these on like these digital screens, but legislation had come in where each betting shop was only allowed to have 4 of these machines. So what they would do is they would just open up 2 corals, have a coral down the road. I mean, you see that in Weymouth. There's multiple betting shops. William Henry, Betfred, Ladbrokes.
They're everywhere. And Ladbrokes and Kool are the same company as well. So if you see a Kool and a Ladbrokes in the same street, technically it's just 2 of the same.
So if you walk in there, I mean, I don't know if the legislation's changed since, but I'd imagine it'd still be in place because it's, you know, government somehow is trying to deter gambling addiction, but it's a lot of bullshit. It's like when you see beer being advertised, they're obliged to have drink responsibly at the end of it, or when it's a William Henry advert, you're going to have that.
William Henry?
William Hill. What's it called? William Henry.
Hill.
William Hill. William Henry's a fucking Weatherspoons.
That's
in Weymouth.
William Lloyd.
I don't know.
Who the fuck's William Henry now? We need to get to the bottom of this right now. Who's William Henry?
I think that's the name of one of the Weatherspoons in Weymouth.
Did he butt fuck you by any chance?
Oh yeah, man, big time. I was trying to win my money back. I'll do anything to get that tango. I never had a gambling
William
issue.
Henry's the guy you met behind William Hill.
Yeah. No, I got into the double digits and then I managed to break even and I went back. But I was lucky. But that's because I had that conversation with myself when I was drunk in Rachel's bathroom mirror. It's like, I'm going to earn my wealth. I'm going to earn it.
Look here, you cunt.
But you know why I brought that hoe up? I know it was. I mean, that's awesome. We went on that little tangent because I love talking about gambling addiction. The psychology of it is fascinating to me. It's dark. It's a dark subject, and I appreciate how dark it is. But nonetheless, it's like there's one. I'm gonna just before I go back to dreams. I just want a little tangent, right? That's kind of related to gambling. So I'm not gonna say his name, but those who live in Corby will know these people. There were 12 bus drivers that won the Euro Millions back in 2012. They're all part of a syndicate, and they've been putting it in every week for 2 years, and they're just about in the process of like quitting. Just like, fuck it, we're not going to win. And these bus drivers won the Euro Millions, £3 million each. One of the guys was doing the Saturday shift. He was in the bus when he got, and through the radio said, we've won the lottery. He slams the brakes. He says to everyone on the bus, he's like, get the fuck off the bus, I just won the lottery. But you know what? But the bit that fascinates me, right, is that, and yeah, sure, you're going to get that initial euphoria, like I couldn't even begin to imagine what this feels like. I'm sure it feels amazing though, to win a 7-figure sum, so £3 million each, right? And it's like that initial high, that first 2 weeks, that honeymoon period. It's like, oh my god, our lives have just changed forever. We're no longer just working class fucking bus drivers. We can do whatever we want. But then the story becomes dark very, very quickly. And one of the people who I wanted to get on the podcast, who kindly, respectfully declined, said that the shit, even though it's been 10 years, the shit is still going on, between the rift between him and his other family members, to the point where they had to leave Corby. They were getting harassed on the streets, people asking them, give us some money, give us some money. They had to move to Spain, or thereabouts,
somewhere undisclosed.
Somewhere undisclosed. But I was fascinated by that. I don't know what it is. It's the Asperger's mind within me. It gets obsessed by really benign subjects, very specific subjects. I'm like, I want to know I want to know about the good, the bad, and the ugly with that sort of enormous change in circumstances.
Yeah, but it's just an overnight thing, isn't it? It's like you've gone from nothing to fucking...
Anyway, so the reason why I even brought up the whole gambling thing was because there were times I'd wake up with that sort of half dream where I'd be like, I just hit the big time on the slots. Seeing
like
it
a vivid one
in my brain, like there was little vague impressions of it. I was like, oh my god, and then you got to check it and you're like, oh no. But I mentioned that it's associated with a negative emotion. It's always going to be, because I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but for the most part, I think most content people are not gamblers. People who are genuinely just happy in themselves, happy in life, aren't gamblers.
Yeah, but then you can just nip down the bookies and put a little cheeky bet on.
And it's grab shit. Yeah, and I get that. Well,
and it is gambling, but it's like,
but mentally
you're in control.
Yeah, no, in moderation, I get that. But mentally, I wasn't in a great place in the summer of 2020, because I'd become so used to not working and being furloughed that I realized I had enough time to think, I don't want to go back to work. And it wasn't that I didn't want to go back to work. I knew it was going to be an absolute pain in the ass to go back to work with this fucking new normal that everyone was banging on about in 2020. Mm-hmm. And it was, that new normal sucked dick. I just want to say that. I hated that expression. I was like, oh wow, it's a new normal. I'm so glad that that's not used anymore. My uncle watches BitChute.
Man v Booze.
BitChute.
BitChute, does he actually?
Yeah. He's a BitChute man.
What the fuck is BitChute?
It's like it's basically like a cheaper version of YouTube for more controversial topics.
Okay.
You know.
Alright, fair enough.
But they always change brands.
I'll stick to E-Bomb's world.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was so...
An E-Bomb...
I was feeling so...
E-Bomb sounds a little bit like Barn. The incense.
The incense guys.
Yeah.
So real quickly, I just want to give a shout out to... What's the name again?
Barn.
Barn.
B-A-A-N.
B-A-A-N.
I don't know how you pronounce it, to be fair. I should ask the guy.
But we went in there and told him about the podcast, and he gave us free coconut scented sticks, so thank you very much.
Yeah, if you live in Weymouth, go visit them.
Yeah, it's that little lane going on to Alley Gardens. Go check them out. Scented candles, little polished stones, and just a fucking nice vibe.
Crystals and shit. Just, yeah, go there.
Yeah, so 2020, before going back to work, I was not in a positive mindset. So naturally, I was hoping that I would win big time on the slots, so that I didn't have to go back to work. It sounds really silly, but I'm just getting that confession out there. I'm over it now. I'm the happiest I've been. 2022 is the happiest I've been in my entire adult life, because you're here. We're doing this. I'm doing things are going well. So
I'll break my other wrist. I'm still happy.
Yeah, that's why I got this tan, being out skateboarding with you.
So that's why I got this tattoo on my ass. No tattoo.
What does mine say? Sweet,
dude. What does mine say?
Idiots! Your tattoo says dude. Your tattoo says sweet. So basically, what happened was that Sean did a bong hit last night, and he was coughing for about 5 minutes straight. I thought the guy was dying, but I was quite...
No, what? I really packed it, because I've been getting more and more confident as I've been doing them. I've been like, oof, I didn't cough that time, I'll make it bigger. So I've been fucking... Yesterday, I actually packed the shit out of it with marijuana. And so the first hit I took, I was coughing like fuck. Dan was like, here's your inhaler, and I'm chucking both my inhalers at me. I actually couldn't believe you done that. But thank you, it did help.
Intellect, not intuition.
And so yeah, I was like coughing and coughing. Finally, got myself
composed yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, there's still more in that bong there.
And you did it again.
I later up and fucking did the exact same thing again. I coughed my ass off. I was a bit, I don't know why.
And I just stopped and snapped out of it after your second coughing fit. And I was like, what are we, fucking stupid?
I know, but mate,
Who does a bong hit and nearly dies and then does another bong hit? Oh, that was a
I
shit
just
idea.
got too confident, man. I don't know what's wrong with
Was
me.
it like lightning strikes?
And then no, but you know what? I was like, tears were coming out my eyes and that. I was like, this is so good. I'm so fucking high. I was like, I don't even care. I'm coughing.
Yeah.
But it was like the same with the skateboarding accident. I did it yesterday. I was like, I seen this little kid drop in. I was like, I'll do that, do it again. And he did it. It looked so fucking easy. So I was like, I'm gonna do that. And I went to fucking drop in and fucking snap my wrist. And then we go up today and fucking. But I wasn't gonna do anything dangerous, you know. I didn't, you know. I was doing that ollie up the box ramp I was doing yesterday. And then today I thought, I'm just going to do that today because that was safe yesterday. So I'm just going to ollie up the box ramp. So I'll fucking do that, like a couple of them, and then I fucking fall on my ass and land on the same side again. But, you know.
So after NREM...
They say they come in threes, don't they? What's next?
I don't know. Speaking of 3, so NREM 3.
Anyway, fuck your wrist.
Yeah, so we'll talk about dreams. We'll talk about sleep in general, right? And then, well, fucking hell, what a tangent. That was good, though. I like that. Fucking talk about gambling all day. Gambling addiction. And this is the bit that shocked me the most. Dreams only last 5 to 20 minutes at a time per cycle. In total, you will end up dreaming about 2 hours out of the whole night. So even if you're not sleeping 8 hours. Another interesting thing is that we spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping. And in total, on average, through a whole lifetime, I don't know how long, we're talking maybe 75 years, 80 years of living, you would spend 6 years of that existence dreaming just dreaming.
So you're in dream mode most of the time, aren't you?
That's 6 years of dreaming. But a lot of your dreams you forget because your brain just sees it as useless information and it's just discarded. Like 90% of your dreams forgotten in the first 10 minutes. That's why if anyone that's curious about kind of doing dream logs, then it makes sense to have a notepad by on your bedside table so you can make a note of it. You know, if you can snap out of it quick enough to write down that dream, because sometimes you're just going to wake up like Keanu Reeves. You're just like, whoa.
Whoa, dude. Am I in the Matrix? Is this real life? Am I gay?
So one of the interesting things, I was looking at like how the brain functions during sleep, the brain activity that's going on. When you're in REM sleep, your brain is very much active as it would be if you were awake because there's so much shit going on. But there's less activity in certain parts, like your prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain here. There's less activity going on in there, which is responsible for reason. It's responsible for logic. It's responsible for like problem solving. So that's why in dreams, especially during REM sleep, right, these drawn out fucking stories that occur, we don't question it because the frontal cortex is responsible for self-awareness. That, you know, I exist, I'm here, I'm Daniel, you know, you're Sean. That part of the brain.
You're gay. Sorry.
No,
I'm gonna kick your ass, bro. Sorry, carry on.
And
what was that anyway? Were you trying to be serious for a second? Like,
I was just trying to throw a curveball at you.
Alright, okay.
Don't worry about it. It's no hard feelings. So there's no self-awareness. There's no that part of your brain that's responsible for reasoning, logic, and self-awareness. That's at an all-time low when you during REM sleep. So that's why you don't question the nature of the dream. How many times are you having the most bizarre dream possible and you don't think, hang on a minute, what the fuck's going on here?
You're never depressed in a dream either, are you? You never.
No, but it's more emotional in dreams. There's a lot more. It's like there's almost like this sixth sense that occurs in my dreams where I'm very much aware of the atmosphere or the vibe around me. The very nature of the dream itself is almost its own personality, its own presence. It sounds absolutely insane me trying to explain it to you, but it's like it only really makes sense in that world, and I can't articulate it to you. I can't do it justice.
Yeah, but the dreams are quite personal, isn't it? So that's your experience. My dreams will be totally different in a different world.
What's occurring, but what I mean is and this has happened more so as I'm in my adulthood, where I'm more aware of the atmosphere.
Do you still dream like you're in your hometown?
There's a mixture of things. So one thing that I read years ago was trying to explain why, one of the reasons why we dream, or one of the theories, is that it's like a transfer of our short-term memory going into our long-term memory. That's, again, going back to that implicit memory. It puts memories are going into all sorts of parts of the brain, not necessarily the places where it's meant to go, right? It's explicit memory, the one that's really available. So it's like a transfer. So that's why you'll have dreams where there's current things happening. You might have people that you know now, but suddenly you're in the interior of your school or the schoolyard. Because I dream a lot about school. And it's weird because I left school 14 years ago. And I'm still there.
I think that's like implicit memory, more nostalgic based, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so anyway, because we had a lot of good times in school, so.
And at a younger age as well.
And a lot of my friends always moan, like, oh, you can fucking do back in school. But if we had a good time, why would I not talk about them times, you know?
There was such attachment
Just because you had shit times doesn't mean I can't talk about, you know what I mean?
You take the good with the bad.
Because I had shit times in school, don't get me wrong, but I always take the good memories over the bad.
Yeah. We
Why
romantic. It's a habit that we all are guilty of, where we romanticize the past. We cherry pick certain elements of it. That's why I'm such a.
Yeah, but I don't talk about juniors like I do at school. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh fuck, I love juniors. I fucking got a fit job in juniors. No, I didn't. I got a fit job in high school. In maths class.
With Jane Doe, tell us a story.
She just rubbed her foot on my cock while in maths class, and then jizzed in my pants. End of story. Okay. Next, dreams. REM sleep free.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, and then the teacher kept being, for some reason, was like, she never used to do it, but she'd be like, Sean, you want to come over and answer this on the board? I'd be like,
he's like, Sean, can you explain? Can you show me where X is? Can you show me the perimeter of this square?
Show me where CUM is. My pants.
You fucking idiot. Oh,
anyway, yeah, it's quite embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. It's just
when we're so yeah, that's what baffled me the most, is the fact that these dreams only lasted 5 to 20 minutes at a time. You ever heard of anyone familiar with? You're familiar with lucid dreaming, aren't you? Mm-hmm. The idea that you become suddenly self-aware within the dream, and you're like, you know, anyone who's seen Inception will know about the whole the idea of totems. These dream stealers will have things that only mean something to them, so they know that they're in a dream or not. So one of the devices in the film is the little spinning top, and anytime they're in a dream, it just spins forever. Mm-hmm. Only in reality does it topple. But one of my totems, right, because I got quite good at lucid dreaming, and one of the things is I could never operate a smartphone in a dream or a computer, because it was too complicated of a process for my brain to handle. Because you think about how a computer works. You got to click on the screen, put in a password. So there'll be times in dreams where I'm trying to log on to Facebook, or I'm trying to log on to something in my dream, and it just keeps being the wrong thing keeps coming up, and it's really frustrating. And that's how I managed to get into a habit of lucid dreaming, where suddenly my prefrontal cortex just kind of ignites and think, hang on a minute, that logic kicks in. This is a dream. Because why else would my phone not be working? Because I got in the habit, when I was awake, I got in the habit of looking at my phone and making a note that, oh, I'm awake right now because the phone's functioning the way it should be. And then eventually snapped into...
No, you're saying that, right? Mine, if I think about it, mine would be my old cat from when I was a kid. It's called Maddie. Mm-hmm. And in my dreams, ever since she ran away, she's always there. But I wake up and it's the cat we have now. So I'll know in my dream if Maddie's there. I'm lucid dreaming pretty much. Like,
yeah,
it's just if a black cat is in my dreams, I know I'm fucking dreaming like Maddie. Like, if I wake up from it and I see Jaffa, the ginger bollock, I'm like, fucking, that was a dope dream. But you never remember it. I never remember my lucid dreams ever. I
remember quite a few of them. But there's one thing I want to throw at you. I want to get your take on it.
But that sounds really hairy-fairy, doesn't it? It does.
It's all within your head, though, isn't it? Because we're talking about things that have happened in our dreams, so it's hardly hairy-fairy. This is a funny dream I had one time. So I'm on a date, because here's another occurring theme within my dreams. I call it the anonymous girl. It's basically a girl or a woman who has no real identity, but I'm somehow romantically involved with them in some way.
But they have no face.
Well, they have a face, but I can't remember the face.
Right.
So I can't really remember
any... So it could be the same girl.
I can't remember any physical characteristics about them. I couldn't tell you right now. But in the dream, there's more of a presence, because this sounds so weird, but especially my adulthood, I don't seem to dream. The visual part of my dreams isn't the strong component. It's very patchy at best. It's the emotional, the presence of the dream that I'm more aware of. I'm more aware of I'm more able to recall the emotions felt, and I get patchwork memory of certain what they look like, what they're wearing, sort of thing. So there was always the anonymous girl, and one time, right, I'm on a date with this anonymous girl, and I get given the bill. I don't even remember eating the meal. I just remember we're at a table, and I just get slipped the bill, and I was like, I'll pay for it. And I look at it, it's £123, and I just fucking woke up in a cold sweat. I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Oh, it's just a dream thing. It was a nightmare.
Would you pay for the bill? Were you one of those?
Oh yeah.
You're taking her out.
Hang on, I got this. Chivalry.
Chivalry.
Yeah, I got it. I can say it now.
You're a chivalrous person.
I don't think that's a real word. It might be.
That's a real word. Chivalrous. Chivalrous.
Chivalrous.
It's the.
I'm a man of chivalry. All right, let's just say that. It's easier.
No, you're being very chivalrous when you take a woman.
But you know, there's certain times where I mean, I've been in a relationship for 2.5 years, so we split.
But no, say like
we'll take it in turns. You know,
it's different when it's a girlfriend. Like then it's like, I'll get this babe. I don't say babe. So kick my ass if I ever say babe again. All right. If you ever hear me say that word again, I want you to fucking kick the shit out of me.
That's fine. Right? That's fine.
Sound. Anyway.
My pleasure.
Anyway, so if the girl, for example, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you out," but wasn't like, "Oh, I'll pay for it," but she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you out. We'll go here."
I would always, again, I run on a script.
No, wait.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Carry
on. And then took you out for this place you didn't want to go, but you're like getting into it. You're like, "Oh, I'll come." And then at the end, she stands and looks at you and is like, "Go on then, pay for it, motherfucker."
Yeah, no problem. I mean, they wouldn't have to.
That's not chivalry. That's her taking advantage, my friend. Now I would be like, well,
yeah, but here's the thing, right?
I don't really hit women, but
I'm smart enough. What?
Power of editing, my friend.
No, that's staying.
Don't give a fuck. I don't hit women. Well, and if in that case, the fucking
look,
I'd mind.
It's only acceptable to hit a woman if your life depends on it.
Mate, if a fucking woman punched you in the face,
I'd walk away.
Fuck.
And I was like, I don't need to be in this room again.
Okay.
Chivalry. You know, I pay for the bills. I'm a good guy.
Going to jail.
Being a woman beater. What's the opposite of chivalry? Women beater. Exactly. So yeah. So I pay for the bill. You know, because here's the thing, right? I'm happy to pay for the bill, right? And the relationship go fucking nowhere. Like it just didn't. The early date, the dating game just didn't quite go into fruition, right? And I'll be like, well, if I'm single for the rest of the year, I've just made that money back. You know what I mean? I paid for one meal, and now I'll go into no more meals.
No, but yeah.
You know, if you're with someone that you actually enjoy their company, it's an honor. It's like a gesture. It's like, oh, I'll pay for that because I can afford it, and I like your company.
No, yeah, obviously it is.
I'm
just fucking about, you know. I mean, I'm just fucking about. But yeah, I'd be chivalrous and do it as well. But yeah, I'm just, you know what I mean, trying to make a jokey.
No, that's fine, man. I'm just, you know me. I'm high and autistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's one thing about dreams I want to pass by you, right?
Maybe.
The threat simulation theory. So one thing's been put forward, why we dream, and threat simulation theory is the idea that as part of a survival instinct, I mean, this kind of plays into it a little bit, right? So threat simulation theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
One idea being that in dreams, as part of a survival instinct, we sort of act out dangerous situations that could be very, you know, problematic in our day-to-day life. So our brain plays out these simulations in our dreams so that we are able to defend ourselves. I mean, have you ever had those dreams where you're just punching someone forever and they just do not go down? Or you're running away and your legs can't move fast enough?
Yeah, you're stuck in the same...
There's these recurrent themes, and it's so interesting, like, you know, there's that classic example of, oh, you're in a place and you're naked and you're so embarrassed. It's like, I've been in those dreams. I've had those dreams where I'm like in a public place and I've got no clothes on or not enough clothes on and I'm just filled with shame. It's funny how dreams, and that's one of the ideas tied to the threat simulation theory, is that most dreams are negative. Most dreams are nightmares. It's always anxiety inducing. It's always fear inducing. It's always some form of experience that is quite uncomfortable and uneasy. Like I usually make this joke, like sometimes I'll have insane dreams where I just wake up from it and I'm like, there's so much going on in that dream, I need a fucking nap. You know what I mean? I had to go back to sleep to recover from, because there was a lot going on in that dream, you know.
Yeah, that's like where I'm dreaming about pissing, but while I'm pissing I still need a piss.
Yeah, I get that sometimes. I'll wake up halfway in the middle of the night. I'll wake up, and because I'm constantly needing to go pee, but we've trained ourselves to not wet the bed like we did when we were youngsters. You know, when I was
So yeah, you wake up.
One time I went to Skeggy, and my mum would take us on holiday, me and my sister, and I was about 8 at the time, and I was still like an infrequent bedwetter. I was wet in the bed for a while, actually. I was about 8 before I broke the habit, so quite late into my childhood. And one time, right, the last day of staying in this hotel, this B&B, I pissed the bed. And me and my mum just packed our shit and we left. I was like, Mum, we're not going to tell the nice lady. Won't she be a bit angry? My mum's like, nah, she's a Christian, she'll be fine. That was her logic to her 8-year-old son.
Like she's not going to go in like, for fuck's sake, just because she's Christian. Like, this dirty little 8-year-old bastard.
Just fucking smite thee. Puts a curse on
Smite me, almighty smiter.
Nah, I'm not one for blasphemy, but that one really cracked me up. I'm just quoting Bruce Almighty. But yeah, you know what? There's certain dreams I've had that have been very well. By the way, what do you think about the whole threat simulation theory? Because most dreams are negative, aren't they?
I'm saying, yeah, like, but ever since, I think there's ways to. I know, dream catchers are a bit hairy-fairy, but I remember when I was younger, I watched The Blair Witch a bit younger than I should have.
Keep to it. I'm gonna do a rolly. Carry on.
Alright, and then I had this just reoccurring motherfucking nightmare where I'd like wake up through the night and just think the Blair Witch is gonna fucking kill me. And my mum bought me a dream catcher. And I must have been about.
Explain to me what a dream catcher is. I know the book by Stephen King, but I've never actually.
Never seen one.
No.
You know what it looks like.
Explain it to me.
And it's like weird designs in like circular, and it's got like thread through it, and then you have the feathers at the bottom. It's like a voodoo thing. And I'm not really. I don't know too much about dream catchers. I just know my mum bought me one. I thought they were cool. And then ever since she bought me one, I don't know if it's like a placebo. Yeah, I think it's a placebo, but it works for me. Yeah, I have not really had many nightmares ever since I've had one. So I've got one upstairs. I'll show you when we go upstairs. But yeah, it works for me, and it's quite hairy-fairy. But maybe it is a placebo. It fucking works. So I haven't really had many bad dreams, and I don't really dream often because I smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah,
but when I do, it is a dream, and I sweat, and it is a dream. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have many.
That's the thing about weed, right? Is that weed will steal your dreams. It definitely steals your dreams because the amount of times there have been times when I've come in and out of marijuana use, where like I'll do it for a couple of weeks and then I'll just stop doing it for a couple of weeks. And the
my
dreams,
stupid brain, I always think, if I smoke loads of weed, I'll have a sick dream. Man, sometimes I do. Like it's rare.
There are dreams, like I still dream in French sometimes. I had a dream recently that I got a mate Manu from France. He, about 2-3 years ago now, he came to visit me in Weymouth. And I went back to that memory where I'm just chatting away to him in French with him and his mate Florent. I think that was his name, Flo. That's what we called him, Flo. Flair. And I was dreaming French. So weird. That's a reoccurring dream. So I remember going through a period where I would like meet up with my dad, but like in the 90s. But I was a grown man and he was closer to my age now because he was in his 30s in the 90s. I remember the fascinating...
Dirty 30s, mate. Ooh. That's where we're at now, the dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s.
The dirty... I don't know.
But, I'm just going from point to point here, but I'm bringing up like threat simulation theory. And, so the other thing I want to bring up about dreams was how cathartic they can be. There's been some real transcendent dreams I've had emotionally, where you go back to an ex-girlfriend, maybe you're going through a breakup, and it's like that line that Don Cobb comes up with, the guy, Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Inception. He says, in the dream we're still together, when he's talking about Mars, his ex-wife who died. And there were dreams when I was, because it took me a long time to get over certain relationships, and I would dream that that we were together, but there came a point, there was one girlfriend that took me about a good 2 and a bit years to get over.
That's deep. That's a deep one.
That's a deep one. That one cut deep. And then one time, right, and this is about me about 6 weeks into living in Bordeaux. Because I was in another country, I had all that time to myself to just fix myself and just get better and heal. Because I went into a sort of self-imposed exile. It's something I was prone to doing in my early to mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
Just going someplace to be away from it all. And for the most part, it worked, because, you could call it a breakdown, but for me, it was a breakthrough. Even if I drank myself into into sobriety in a weird, ironic way.
Drank so much red wine.
I drank so much red wine, I came out of it sober. Fauxville, which is now available on Amazon at a reduced price of £8.30.
I'll put it here. Ding.
Kindle version selling for £3.98, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. Anyway, so I did the first draft of that, and that dream was very cathartic, and I wanted to bring that up, that how sometimes dreams can, you got Sigmund Freud that has theories on it, Carl Jung to an extent.
Big Sig. No, joke.
Sigmund Freud. Carl Jung was an interesting one, because I read his book.
Seaman Freud. What's that off in between us?
I don't know, but I
Or is that a Dean joke? Fuck knows.
I think that's a Dean joke. But I'm not too fussed about Sigmund Freud, but I do like the works of Carl Jung, and he talks about the whole process, the transformative phases that we go through. And this isn't even just to do with dreams, but he does associate dreams with it. But
is Carl Jung still kicking?
Nah, he died back in the 70s, 80s. So he had a book called A Modern Man's Search for Meaning. And I took a few notes on that, because it was very useful, especially when it comes to like writing fiction. And you're dealing with dreams and books and stuff like that, or the subconscious part, the shadow self, as it's known.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the whole cycle. He talks about the transformative phase. And this can apply to you as an individual, it can apply to a character if you're writing fiction. And the first phase is confession. The confession of the thing itself, whether it be a trauma, whether it be a thing that you have to get out of you. And that is followed then by explanation, explaining, like rationalizing these emotions and how it came to be and why we are that way. And then part 3, the third phase is known as education, educating yourself on it. And then finally there's the transformation itself. So you kind of make this circular journey like Joseph Campbell. That's your arc, and that's kind of like what I went through in France, the transformative phase. I mean, it's the hero's journey is cyclical, so you're going to be going through many a journey throughout your whole life. It's you might get your heart broken by a girlfriend, or it's just a heartbreak in general because the relationship's over, but then it might reoccur again a few years later, even if you fix that, resolve that issue in the next relationship. And if that comes to an end, it's like you're still going to have that heartbreak, but it's just. We pick up tools on we pick up the tools. Yeah,
but that one in between is good. Like it's like a running joke for the episode, isn't it? Randomly you work for the whole way, and all you hear in the background is boner.
Yeah, because Simon gets a boner because he sees Carly's cleavage, and he's like, "Have you actually got a stonk on?" That's what he says. We go on so many little tangents here and there.
Imagination. You know that Imagination Land South Park's episode?
No, I'm familiar with the episodes though, but I tell you...
It's because at the start of the episode, Cartman makes a deal with Kyle that if they find a leprechaun, he's got to suck his dick. And they find the leprechaun, and because he's from Imagination Land. And pretty much the whole trilogy's Cartman trying to get Kyle to suck his dick. But then they get, like, the other, I think it's Stan, Kenny, and all that get taken to Imagination Land, while Cartman and Kyle are in normal world, and they've got they get Mel Gibson and all that, try to help them break into Imagination Land.
There's 2 episodes of South Park I want to mention to you. One I mentioned earlier on the way to the shop.
Mm-hmm. Why, the royal family?
The royal wedding, right? Basically, right, so the royal wedding was in 2011, right? And they had an episode where it was the Canadian royal wedding. And you see the cars pulling up, and they got square wheels. And the guy that's narrating it, he's like, "This is part of Canadian tradition. He's the king of the Prince of Canada is wiping his arms in maple syrup as is part of Canadian tradition. The princess wiped him off as is part of Canadian tradition. That's what all they keep saying, right? And then out of nowhere, it turns into like this Legend of Zelda epic where a dragon just comes through the abbey and rubble starts falling and crushing spectators. And you can just hear the guy going, debris is falling from the roof of the abbey, crushing spectators. This is not part of Canadian tradition at all.
That's not part of tradition.
But then towards the end, what makes me laugh is like when they finally save the princess and get the wedding going again, like the Prince of Canada or whatever fucking pulls her arms off and she's screaming. He's like, he pulls her arms off as is part of Canadian tradition and shoves them up his ass. And I love that satire when they're just ripping into our culture. Well, not saying our culture, that aristocratic nonsense, as I call it, that hierarchical shite. People say, again, that's why I'm so against like pre-modernist mindsets. Pre-modernism being, it's associated with faith and mysticism and tradition. Like, it's not that I'm against tradition. It's just I hate people's.
Can you open that for me, please, Daddy?
No, I'll do that. This is what I do with my friend.
Thank you.
So the reason why I laugh so much at that South Park episode is because, it's poking fun at this idea of tradition, and it's like, right. So I just want to go on record to say that I'm not against traditions. It goes back to that simulacra talk we've had over the previous episodes, where a simulacra is an unsatisfactory or a unsatisfactory representation of a reality, right? So that's what happens to traditions. You have the original concept that comes about where a townspeople or a group of people or whatever, they do a bunch of things and they continue that on through the generations, right? Every couple of years, every 10 years, or in this place, the Corby Pole Fair, which is coming up next month, that would be called a tradition, right? But as the culture evolves over those decades, over those centuries, suddenly some of the meaning, there's certain alterations that are made. So it becomes a simulacrum. It's no longer what it once stood for. And that's why I don't like tradition, because people are essentially just blindly following what's been done by the generation before them. And it's kind of this endless cycle almost until it gets to the point of origin. That's why I don't like the idea of tradition, because it's not a tradition. Well, it is a tradition, but it's make-believe. It's lost its identity over time because it's inevitable. As I said, cultures evolve, so they change a thing,
Yeah, I know.
The original meaning is lost because it's a completely different mindset. It's a different culture.
It's a different generation, and when a generation doesn't adapt to it, then tradition
That's
falls.
why I always laugh, like when you go to Weymouth and you see traditional fish and chips. It's like, tradition. Just say fish and chips. What is traditional?
What is traditional? Extra salt, extra vinegar.
Yeah.
Made from the Vikings bum fluff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not done the same way as it was 1,000 years ago. So don't say.
You know what I mean?
That's why I just kind of like, because I'm more of the modernist.
Traditional.
Impossible. Lesbianism. That's impossible. But yeah, I'm just.
Do you reckon phobias becoming part of dreams? Because I've never really dreamt of any of my phobias of.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I'm very claustrophobic in dreams. One of my common themes when it comes to nightmares is claustrophobia, where I'm having to go under a thing, or I'm having to get through a thing, and I feel the suffocation. I'm like, whereas I'm not too bad when I'm awake. Like,
what about being stuck? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. But again, that kind of like ties into the claustrophobia thing. And
I'm not so claustrophobic, but like being stuck is a big. Because I can do the small gaps and shit like that, right? But being stuck, like not being able to move and being physically stuck, and
to this day, I still remember this nightmare I had where, you remember in Corby Library, they had those weird high up walls, and we used to shimmy up it and do that angel thing, right? So in this dream, I was like on a high surface trying to maneuver my way around one of these things, and I'm holding on to it, and I just fucking slipped. Right?
What, in your dream?
In the dream,
right?
And it's so far down.
You remember quite a lot of your dreams, you know.
Yeah, but you know what?
I don't, not really.
Yeah, but again, you smoke weed, so when I smoked a lot, I didn't remember any of my dreams.
Yeah, but what about recently now? The more you've been smoking, like, have you been having a lot of dreams?
Don't forget about it. I might smoke once or twice a week with you, but when I'm not with you, mate, I don't smoke.
Fair enough.
So I'm in that sort of quasi space. You know, when I would stop smoking weed, for whatever reason, the dreams will come back tenfold, and they would be so powerful. These
even
dreams,
if I don't smoke a joint for a night, I have them mad, but I don't remember them.
yeah,
I can remember where I am and what happened, but I couldn't tell you the ins and outs.
yeah,
The
it's
finite
so
details.
bizarre. But that's why I'm so fascinated by these types of stories, like dreams. It's such a fascinating concept because all throughout the cultures over time, they've had different interpretations of it, different variations of it. Like one thing I hate, and I know hate's a strong word, but I hate this. Dream interpretation books. All right?
What do you mean?
Like books, authors who claim to know what they're trying to provide an objective meaning to dreams.
And I think I know what you're on about, because I remember reading a book called like 7 Ways to Dream or something like that. Is that what you mean? Like,
not even one of those. It's like, you can do it on the internet now. You'd be like, oh, I dreamt I drowned. What does that mean? And then you'd read it up, and there'll be like, sometimes it'll be like horoscopes attached to it. It's like, you dreamt that you drowned because your cat's a cunt, you know? It's like
they're trying to explain like fucking horoscopes and shit.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Are you so aggressive towards horoscopes?
horoscopes I'm more forgiving of, because that's just, we all have some form of escapism, something that takes us away from any kind of logic, because logic and reason can be exhausting when you're using that part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. So a couple of years back, I was having some time off work. I don't know why, I just booked off 3 weeks. I was like, why not? I never took holiday, so I was like, all right, let's take 3 weeks off. And I didn't have any weed during that 3 weeks, and the dreams were insane. And this one dream, I got woke up from by an alarm I forgot to take off. Because when your dream is interrupted, I think you're more likely to remember it, because you can have anything up to 4-6 dreams a night, because it's multiple cycles. Like I said earlier, 5 to 20 minutes of dream time. The dreams become a little bit longer as the night progresses, but you're not going to remember all of them. And sometimes a dream will transition to another. When I was talking about lucid dreaming earlier, sometimes there are few moments where I become self-aware and I'm like, oh, this is a dream. And then you have some fun. But it's like your brain is trying to pull you back into the dream, because you think you wake up, you're not, you're just in another dream. Or there have been moments where I've been dreaming, but it's sort of transitioned in real time almost into another dream, where the transition was so smooth, the scene just changed. It's like Tyler Durden in Fight Club when he says how they used to do, how projections work, films on a reel. You get that little black dot back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They called them cigarette burns. Well, that's what Tyler says. They call them in the industry cigarette burns. But that meant that was a cure for a changeover of the film. And it's like it's a smooth transition. Nobody knows. People watching the film in the cinema don't know any different. It's kind of like that with certain dreams, where it transitions from one to the next without you even realizing it's a completely different dream.
Have you ever had because this is kind of similar, where you've been woken up from a really good dream and you try to go back to sleep and get back in it?
It never happens though, does it?
No.
Because dreams can be so random. I mean, I suppose if you're obsessed with the idea of lucid dreaming and you keep a dream diary and you keep totems where you can distinguish between the two states, then I suppose there'll come a point where you'll get quite good at it. And I suppose it could be quite empowering. It can be quite enjoyable, because
I'd love to be in control of my dreams, because they are quite good, aren't they?
Do you ever have like doubts in your dreams where you're trying to fly, but you can only like levitate, or you can only hover?
No, I don't. Like I say, I don't have emotion in any of my dreams that I can remember. Like I never get scared, or I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm just there. I'm present. No emotion though, except when I have wet dreams.
Wet dreams. You ever wake up wanking?
Nah.
You're having like a little weird, like, you remember I was saying about the gambling thing, where you get like, it's not quite a dream, it's like a waking dream, that transitional where you're coming into sleep into wakefulness, and there's that kind of quasi half dream, maybe that hypnagogic.
No, because
Hypnagogic.
It's,
Hypnagogic. I wrote it in my hand. There's no shame in that. I struggle with certain words, so I don't keep them written down.
like when I have a wet dream, it's embarrassing, man. Anyway, I'm full on riding the chick and coming in my dream, like fucking splatting everywhere. So when I wake up, I know, I'm like, well, I just know.
It's just your dog licking your nuts.
Tupac, no. Nah, man, it's just,
Do you know what? I told my mum in confidence when I was about 12, 13. I told her in confidence as a child to a parent. I woke up and my boxer shorts were a bit wet.
Alright.
And guess what she done?
What's that?
Told my sister. And they ripped the shit out of me. And my mum wonders why I didn't open up to her for like 20 years after that. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you tell me what's going on? Because you tell fucking everyone.
Why don't you ever tell me embarrassing shit about my sister? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Has she ever said anything? Oh, Kerry, by the way, shot herself last night.
No?
No, exactly. You need to get some doubt on your sister, mate. But no, I know what you mean though. When you get a bit older, you get more and more respectful. Like me and my brother now we're tight as fuck. But when we were younger, we used to kick the shit out of each other. Do you know what I mean? We used to hate each other.
Me and my sister fought as well.
That's what I'm saying. But when you get older, it's like it's just like a blood thing, isn't it? Like no matter what, it's just unconditional. Do you know what I mean? Because my brother has pissed me off when we're older, and we have had that. But afterwards, it's always like, you know what I mean? You never fall out.
You can't have resolution without conflict. By the way, right, this is a bit of a tangent. I'm sorry to cut you off. This came in.
Sorry, mate. This is what this. So save a minute.
Save a minute. This came into my head the other day. Today of all days. Sorry, today. Obviously, learning about sleep, and one thing pops into my brain: a reality TV show that only lasted for one season. It was called Shattered. Shattered. The reality TV show Shattered. So the contestants weren't allowed to sleep for a week. And they would have to participate in some of the most mundane, boring things you could imagine. Where like they got a lecture from a teacher, he's teaching them something, and he's just got that ASMR voice. Like Ferris Bueller's teacher. Bueller. Fry. Anyway, but you just had like a really boring voice, and you could just see them fucking nodding off. You know what I mean? They just weren't allowed to sleep. If they slept, they lost. And I think they realised because the world record for most days gone without sleep is 11 days. Right? And the Guinness Book of Records pulled it. And this was in the 60s. And yeah, Guinness pulled it because they thought it can't be good for you because you need it for like your awareness. You know, too much sleep deprivation is going to kill you.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying on the last episode, I did it all night and stayed up for like another 17 hours, I'm going to say.
Out of body experience.
And I was hallucinating. You know what I mean? So another 3 or 4 days, that's definitely not good for you. Not for your body and brain and shit.
And it proves nothing because I fucking love sleep.
Oh, yeah.
You know the worst thing in the world?
And that's our way of hibernating, you know what I mean? Because we don't hibernate at like other animals and shit.
Yeah, no, that's it.
They go and get fucking days and sometimes months of sleep and then come back out. They're we get at least 6 or 7 or 8 a day.
One of the things I hate most in life is feeling tired, like really tired. So when I used to, with the gym,
I didn't get it as much as I grew up.
Yeah.
But now I get older, I'm like, when I'm tired, I'm like, yeah, like.
When I was in the gym I'm working at now, back a couple of years back, I used to have to work a late Wednesday, 2 till 10, and I was back in Thursday at 5:45 in the morning, right? So I'll be lucky to get 5.5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep, because I get home, and it's like that worry keeps you awake of how much sleep am I going to get? How much sleep am I going to get, right?
Yeah, because the first few hours are like you want to relax and do what you want to do first,
just a bit of winding
and
down
then it's like, oh shit, fuck, I need to go back. Like then you start worrying, and then you can't get to sleep.
That alarm clock would go off at 5 a.m. and I'd feel like fucking death. Well, there were some tactics, right? And this is, I mean, no company should do this to anyone, but if you're in that position where you have to get in like 5 hours of sleep, my advice is try and get 4 hours of sleep, because when you don't go into that, when you don't get in all those REM cycles, you wake up more alert, more awake, and it's not until a couple of hours later that it really fucking hits you. But getting up, I find it easier to get up with less sleep, but obviously it's harder to stay awake, and so it would waste my fucking days. Like, because what would happen was I'd finish work at 1:45, I'd get home at 2, and I'd be like crashed out for 2.5 hours. Wake up with that big drool patch on my pillow, looks like a speech bubble.
Oh man, that's when you know you've had a good little sleep in it, when you've just fucking drooled.
It's only like naps and that I get it, right? So here's one thing I want to bring up with you, right? So for years I suffered with sleep paralysis. Now, some people who aren't familiar with sleep paralysis automatically assume that there's like a demon on your chest, but it's not necessarily that. I mean, there's going to be some sort of like visual auditory hallucinations that do occur, and I definitely got auditory hallucinations during sleep paralysis, because there were certain moments where I started getting sleep paralysis at 23 years of age. I don't know where it came from. Maybe there was caffeine involved or something, but yeah, I just wake up and my surroundings were the place I was in, and I just couldn't move. And the first few times it happened, it was quite frightening, because in your brain you're not thinking logically, so you think, oh my god, I'm paralyzed. I remember having sleep paralysis in Bordeaux, right, really badly, and I'm just laying there in the middle of the day and I can't move, and I'd see like hallucinations of my mum. Swear to God, right, I've never told you this before. Hallucinations of my mum sat beside me, even though I'm in another country, and I just kept saying to her, I'm still your son, I'm still your son. It was so fucking frightening, because I felt like
kind of creepy, man.
That was creepy, man, because I felt like I was paralyzed, and it wasn't until I finally woke up from it I was like, Jesus Christ. But the more it happened, the more I kind of got less freaked out by it.
That's interesting, because I've never suffered from sleep paralysis
Yeah,
before.
yeah, big time.
I get the you know, when you get the sinking feeling, but you don't wake up from it. You continuously sinking.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
Well,
is that similar to sleep paralysis?
Kind of. Like, there's all sorts of shit going on with sleep paralysis. Like, you're aware of your surroundings, but there's nothing you can do about it. And there was stages where I felt like my mum would be knocking on my door, my bedroom door, to wake me up, but it wasn't. It was just auditory hallucinations, because I was like wanting her to do that, to wake me up out of it. Once I started to get more cool with it, more at ease with it, because this went on for years, sporadically, not at night. It was only during afternoon naps that this happened. So we were shown in year 8. Funny enough, we had a science teacher called Mr. Condon. Remember him?
Johnny Condon.
His actual name was John.
It wasn't.
Was it not?
Nah. Yeah, we just made that up.
That's the Mandela effect again for me, because I was convinced that was his first name.
No, because he used to fucking, like, pretty much red card us if we called him Johnny.
Yeah, he didn't like Johnny, but his name was John.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, wasn't it? What was his name?
Mark, I think.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It actually was Mark Condon.
All right.
But we used to shout Johnny and be like, right, red card if I hear anyone saying that.
Our school did that as disciplinary, yellow card, red card.
Yeah, just fucking kick his balls or something. No, honestly, he's going to cause havoc if we don't. No, that's encouraging him. Don't encourage him. Flick his ass.
So in year 8, we were taught about, vacuums.
What,
so
from Johnny Condon?
No, actually, I think it was about year 9. I can't remember her name. She's an old lady.
Miss Sims?
No.
The one with no pinky?
Might have been, actually. I'll let him out. Right, science, remember, science.
Science, Miss Sims, no pinkies.
But you know what they say, a broken clock? Someone pointed this out. They said, oh, yeah,
broken clock, big cock.
A broken clock tells the right time twice a day. Remember that.
Or is a broken clock the correct time all the time?
I don't know. Time is just a human
Time's relative, bro.
I mean, the fourth
Are we going for in time or back in time?
I don't know. Right, so
are we in time, going through time?
Let me explain this vacuum, right? So they get like a little vacuum thing. And
no, science class, Miss Sims, no pinkies.
Yeah, she had no pinky.
No, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So we had this vacuum thing, right? I can't remember, this little contraption. You put a balloon inside of it, right? And then all the fucking pressure's removed from it. And the balloon just inflates, because the particles inside it are pushing it out, but there's nothing to push it back in.
Okay.
So that's that common misconception that fucking head explodes in space, but it's not. You know what I mean? Your blood pressure just boils.
No one hears you scream in space.
They don't. No sound waves.
No one can hear you queef in space.
In space, no one can hear you queef.
You know those minging little fucking like mid-sex queefs? It's like, is that turning me on, or is that
you know what it does?
Disgusting?
The thing with queefs, right?
Even the word.
No, but the thing with queefs is I think they're mostly acknowledged, aren't they? I've never known someone just be like, and they just carry on. We have to stop and address the elephant in the room. It's like, you just queefed.
No, you don't, do you?
I acknowledge it.
You're like, excuse me, love.
No. I just go.
You've just farted.
No, we have a little snigger about it. Which is like, yeah, you queef.
Like a Nat. What's the guy from Scooby Doo called? Nat. Ghastardly something. He's like.
Oh, Muttley.
Muttley, that's it. It's not from Scooby Doo. That's
Scooby Doo now. It's wacky racist.
That's it. Yeah. And the other one, Catch the Pigeon. Catch the Pigeon. Remember that?
I don't care for that one too much.
Oh, fuck you, bro. Catch the Pigeon.
No, I like the Coyote and Roadrunner.
That one come after the Hoobs. Remember the Hoobs? You have the Hoobs, then you'd have Catch the Pigeon.
Yeah.
And then you'd have something after Catch the Pigeon, but that's when I'd fucking get shoved off to school.
It's not
my
really...
little bag in there, like, you're walking today, you little fuck. No, I'm joking, man. My mum sometimes would take us to school, but sometimes we could have got abducted or anything.
Yeah.
She seems to think this is the thing about my mum, right? I'll be like, Mum, I remember stuff and that. She'd be like, no, you don't. And I'll bring something up and she'd be like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, Sean.
She'd be like, Sean, have you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Yes, Mum, but this is not that. You got pushed down the stairs, love. And I've seen it with my own baby eyes.
Fucking hell.
She's like, no, that's not what happened. I pushed him down the... No, Mum. I seen you going, dish, 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 dish. And then you got straight back up and went back to the argument. I've seen it with my own eyes. She was like, dish, 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 dish. And then she was like, right, you little... That's why I get anxious when arguments happen around me.
I get it. You don't want people tumbling down the stairs, do you? Having a little tumble.
It's not even that. It's just, when the voices get raised. It's
What if there was an argument in a bungalow? Would you be a bit more at ease then?
No, it doesn't make a fucking difference if the stairs or not.
Oh, right, okay. I thought stairs was like an integral symbolic part of that.
It's like
anxiety.
My empathy. I feel like the chick from the new Life is Strange game. It's like I think I have really strong empathy. Yeah. So when I feel the emotions of people more, I don't know why I'm fucking doing that, man.
Do you know what I found that
because I can use this one.
As I got older, I my cringe factor went up. I wasn't really. I
know because I'm seeing you. We're watching videos and you're cringing at the most. I mean, yeah, you could call it cringy, but you're absolutely wincing, man. You're like, no.
I think weed doesn't.
I know.
I know. I think weed does heighten that secondhand embarrassment that I feel, or that sort of cringe. Because when I was younger, I had no shame. There were things I'd feel shameful about that I wouldn't give a shit about now. But there were loads of things you watch really embarrassing things on TV. I never felt the secondhand embarrassment. That was something that developed as I got older, or something would happen at school or class, and there was no secondhand embarrassment. Music could have been an outlet, but I just never went down that road. And
yeah, you did. You're in a band.
No, but I had a guitar.
Yeah, I was in a band. Called Killing Silence.
Everybody was in a band. You know what's funny?
The Killing Silence MySpace is still up.
You know what's funny as well? I remember being at the Rangers Club at 14 years of age, and I was like, I got this idea for a band, right? I didn't play any instruments. What I'm going to do? Fucking sing. And this guy I was talking to, I'll just tell you his name, is Will. His name is Will. And then
Stinky feet.
Yeah, he came out of my house. Just he took his shoes off, man. His feet stank as shit. And you and I didn't acknowledge it, but we were the next day.
We're just looking at each other
his feet stank as shit.
The only one with their shoes off, it was him. Obviously it was him.
Yeah.
No one else was.
But I told him about this idea for a band one night, and then the next day he's got a MySpace page set up for it. He's like, it was an idea that me and Dan had on the way back from the Rangers Club. And you know what I mean?
It was an idea me and Dan had while butt fucking.
There's still, my dad found a picture of me, a school photo of me from 2006. My fucking fringe is down to my ass. It's just fucking there. I'm like, hey dude. I couldn't even see. It wasn't practical. And eventually I started flicking it. So I'd be over my face
I remember asking you in science how you straightened your fucking hair. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. And dude, you straighten your hair.
Yeah. Going back to the dreaming, have you ever woke up and thought you can't see? Your eyes are open but it's just dark.
Nah.
It's just because the fucking room's dark and it's
turn the lights on, bro.
No, but I've done that, yeah, and then took my hands away and it's still.
No.
No,
you're on your own with that one.
It's just
I support you, but I'm not there. Yeah. So speaking of dreams, right? Total Recall.
Yeah.
Is it a dream, or is it not a dream?
I think it's. I don't know if it's ambiguous enough at the end. I think it actually is a dream, innit? But he's in the dream. They've implanted his dream inside of him, haven't they? And he's trying to break out of it.
I want to push this forward to you because I love the plot device within that film. The idea being that you can have memories implanted in your head, right? And this is going to happen in our lifetime. And I want to pass it by you. I'll kind of describe it for you and see if you're for or against it. But the idea that you don't necessarily have to fork out to go on holiday Because like in the film, he wants to go to Mars, but rather than go to Mars, he decides to get the memory implant at recall. And I'm thinking, I would so be up for that. I would happily have a memory implanted in my head of going on holiday, because there's no hassle of having to get there. I hate planes. I'll be on a plane if I have to, but I hate being on a plane. And, the shit that can go wrong. Just have that memory implanted in my head. As far as I'm concerned, it happened. Because even if the memory's been implanted in you, you're still going to experience it, right? I mean, I know we're just playing on hypothetical situations here, but like based on the rules established by Total Recall, would you be
You'd
up
have
for
to
that?
be like a try before you buy thing. Like, test out the implant and see if it's...
No, but like, let's just say for argument's sake, like it works. There's no issues with it. Like just the idea of
that's
memory
the difference
implants.
between me and you. Thing I can't picture it enough. I have to experience it. So I'd have to...
But hypothetically.
What, instead of actually going to a destination, having a holiday memory implanted?
Yeah, because
See, that's the thing now. I feel like still need to physically experience it.
Right, yeah, I get you. But you technically are, because it goes back to the whole kind of abstract idea, question of what is reality, what defines reality. If we accept it to be real, doesn't that in itself qualify it to be a reality? Because I know you're always going to have someone who suffers with some form of psychological issue, whether it be trauma, or whether it be delusions, or whether it be brain damage. They might experience a reality different to the one that we experience, to the point where it's so far removed from this. Even if you can fudge it with different experiences, subjective interpretations of the reality that you live within, from the perspective of your mind, but theirs is so far removed to the point where it actually affects their ability to maneuver through this world, because they can't
physically experiencing it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, how do we, like Morpheus in the Matrix, how do you define real if it's just the electrical signals interpreted by your brain? You're coming from all your senses, your touch, your taste, your smell, your sight. It's all passed through into your brain, and then this picture is created for us. It's like, this is reality, right? Now, if you're given a memory and it's as real as right now, because you think about memories in general, even explicit memory, we kind of, there's very little objectivity about it. Like, there's certain things that will be facts within that memory, but the details are going to be lost over time. It's like it loses details and your brain fills in the rest for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 10 years from now, I try and imagine this living room. I might be like, oh yeah, it had a couch, and I think the couch might have been blue. It had a brown table, but I'd fill in the rest, and it's not until I see a picture of it or a video of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot it was that kind of blue. Or I forgot about that plant. Or I forgot about, So our memories are kind of skewed over time anyway. So it's not even a real memory. It's a memory of a memory.
Yeah, because isn't it, each time you remember something, it's different every time, or you something like that.
Yeah, and this is a bit out there, but could you imagine, right, if brain implants becomes a thing and it almost becomes like a solution to dementia or Alzheimer's, where someone loses their mind so much, their identity so much, that you could re-implant it, replace
does that
it.
stop them from dying?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we're going out into that sort of science fiction realm, but I'm just saying, like, if brain implants does become a thing, I wonder if that could be one thing that it could be. Maybe something else will come along that fixes the issue better. But I'm saying that could be one solution if there isn't any other solutions. The fact that you lose everything mentally, but then it's all replaced with artificial memories that are derived from your own real memories. There was an interesting, this was a Robin Williams film, right? There was very few films he'd done that were very serious films, and he was a very good dramatic actor. You look at Good Will Hunting, you look at 1 Hour Photo, you look at The Final Cut. The Final Cut, by the way, was a shit film, but he was good. He was dramatic.
Jack.
No, he was
joking.
Insomnia. That's another dramatic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of before you said 1 Hour.
But The
Photo.
Final Cut was like dog shit film, but very interesting premise. So this is back when I'd catch a little cheeky little film. I'd be like, oh, what's this one? You know what I mean? Because nowadays with streaming, you can be more of a snob with things. You'd be like, I'm not watching that. I'm not going to waste 10 minutes of my time to figure out if I don't like this film or not. I'm going to watch what I already know I like.
Yeah. I'm the same. When you've got it, you just go on what you like.
Or you see a film you haven't seen in decades, you're like, fucking watch it again. Because people say to me, like, why do you watch the same film again? Like, I won't watch the film again and again and again. But if there's a film I really like, I'll happily watch that film 3 times in a year. Right, let me explain the final cut to you then. Right, so it's a Robin Williams film, shitty film, but very, very unique premise. So the idea is that he plays like and I've only watched this once, so I'm not gonna have a very good memory of this. His job, Robin Williams playing this character, is everybody records all their memories like with a camera. Every second of every moment of someone's life is recorded. And this film came out in 2004, I want to say, so this is a long time ago. It's kind of ahead of its time. And some people are absolute arseholes in their life. Most people are arseholes. But when he does the obituary, whatever it's called, when they've died, he has to edit together a nice little hour-long video or something like that, like a half-hour piece, all the best moments of their life. But he has to sift through all the footage of all the times, like one scene's like a guy beating up his wife, or another guy or someone doing something horrific or sabotaging someone, just doing a really reprehensible thing. And he has to lie for the sake of the family's sense of closure. But I just always thought that was an interesting premise for a movie, the fact that we're recording every minute. Like, imagine that becomes a thing. Kind of like that episode of Black Mirror. The Entire History of You, that was what it was called. Episode 3, Season 1. And, okay, so last night I didn't watch this whole film, but I'm going through the only streaming service I have left now, because I've cancelled everything, right? Except Amazon Prime, because, I still need that delivery service. So, GoldenEye, 007 GoldenEye. I caught about 30 minutes of it before I went to sleep, so I'll probably watch it when I get home. But there's something about GoldenEye. Do you want it? The first lines uttered by Pierce Brosnan's interpretation of James Bond is when he's hanging upside down in that toilet, and that Russian guy's got his newspaper out. Well, that Soviet guy, because it's like before the fall of the Soviet Union. He's hanging upside down. Pierce Brosnan's like, "Pardon me, I forgot to knock." And you got that Eric Serra soundtrack in the background, like
I think Pierce better than Daniel. Is it Daniel Craig?
He was unfortunate that he was in some shitty films, because GoldenEye was good, right? It was directed by Martin Campbell, who also directed Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a good job there. And then you had Tomorrow Never Dies.
That's good.
I didn't like that one. I didn't care for it too much. It had a pretty good soundtrack.
The end's better than the beginning, and then The World's Not Enough was good.
Do you know what's interesting about? Because I do want to go back to Bond, but
But the last one, is it?
Die Another Day.
Ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Well, actually, okay, fuck. There's so many tangents I've got going here. So it's like we've kicked into another gear now. Stay with me, Sean.
And I'm not even a James Bond fan, but I was a good... Pierce Brosnan made me watch GoldenEye.
This is part of my curse, right? I couldn't give a fuck about the 007 franchise. However, I have an insane amount of knowledge on the 007 franchise.
No.
Right?
We don't need to hear this.
I'm saying it. Now, I'll keep it short. I'm going to keep it specifically on point.
So, Rowan Atkinson actually starred in Octopussy, and one of his first
No,
roles...
it wasn't. It was Never Say Never Again, so basically, right?
Oh, fucking hell, no, you actually know it. No way.
It was a remake.
That was one of his first roles, though, wasn't it?
Something like that, but it was his first feature debut, I think, right? So, but it Never Say Never Again was actually a rehash of, I want to say Diamonds Are Forever, a Sean Connery film. But basically, there was like a...
Why have you got this knowledge?
I don't know, but I don't know. It just sticks in my brain.
Did your dad used to watch Bond films?
Did he? Fuck. If my dad gets this far, he'll be like on the... Did I? Fuck.
James Bond,
my granddad, on the other hand, fucking...
Alright, that's where you get it from.
No, because I didn't really bond with this man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but like... No.
Like, you know what I mean? The conversations I have with the man, it would just be him saying, what? Because the guy was deaf. You know what I mean? I hearing aids and...
Like, his whole life, your whole life.
No, well, like, he was like 60 odd by the time I was born, but I didn't really start having conversations.
You didn't visit him much because he lived in Scotland.
He lived in Scotland, so I'd see him like every couple of years.
Fair enough.
But I didn't really start having conversations with the man until I could talk. So like 10 years of age, and all I wanted to ever talk about was video games, and it would lose the man because he's 70 odd by this point.
Yeah, well, mate, if I get to 70 and I'm not playing games, kick my ass.
Yeah, I will.
Thanks.
So anyway, he was Bond obsessed. But I was like you, I kind of got in at the GoldenEye era because I was getting to the N64 game. But Yeah, there was like a weird distribution. There was like a rights dispute at one point. So one guy like had the rights to one film, which was I want to say Thunderball. It was Thunderball, right? And
on her set, Majesty's Secret.
No, because that's with
Olivant.
That's with the guy that was only Bond once. He was an Australian actor. It was George Lazenby.
Great film. On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
It's gotten a lot of love over the years, right? They did a documentary called Everything or Nothing, and it goes through. It's basically a Bond documentary.
This is why you have the knowledge.
Maybe because I watched this once. Because I watched it once.
Yeah, trust.
And Pierce Brosnan is looking back on his career playing Bond, and he talks about the last film when he says, "Yeah, I was windsurfing a tsunami," and he erupts with laughter. Like, it's like, fair play, man. He's got a good fucking sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I love that shit.
But he just basically says all these ridiculous things that he was doing in his fourth outing as Bond.
The beginning of the film's absolutely ridiculous.
Because it's got Madonna's electronic music playing in the background while you got footage of Bond being waterboarded. There, another day. It's like...
You must have been waterboarded before, because that was a fucking mighty good impression, bro.
I wanna die. Tell us everything we want to know, James Bond. Fuck you.
The director's got the fucking uncut Bond. Fuck you, GoldenEye.
Him just getting butt fucked by North Korean. You want what about it, motherfucker? I wanna die another day. Madonna with a big fucking like pufferfish lips. You know? I wanna die.
She's like a fucking she's fencing with Bond, man. That film's fucking ridiculous.
What a piece of shit! And we're hysterically laughing the same way Pierce Brosnan was when he was talking about himself windsurfing a fucking tsunami.
If no one's watched Die Another Day, they need to watch it.
Just him like on the green screen. Like.
Yeah, and it looks so shit.
And then he lands like so gracefully on the little green screen fucking ice.
What was that, Q? Yes, windsurfed a tsunami. Again.
Q had died by this point, right? So the guy who it was R took over, right? So what happened with because it's alphabetical order, isn't it? All right, so Q was played by this old guy. I can't remember Desmond. I think his name was Desmond Llewellyn. I can't remember his name, right? But so basically, he was like already old as fuck by the time he'd done The World Is Not Enough, and he was doing like some sort of greeting thing. He was living in his village, signing autographs and taking photos with the crew. Mm-hmm. And he's driving home. And apparently, like he was on the wrong lane, and he just fucking head-on collision and died. So the next film had John Cleese playing R and dying every day.
Yeah.
There was a guy I wanted to get on the podcast. This is when we're doing the Zoom chats. Calvin Dyson, I think his name was, or something like that. And he was like he's a Bond fanatic. And I messaged him, like, he hasn't got that many followers. I just messaged him on Instagram, like, oh dude, like, you want to come on the podcast, talk about Bond? He never got back to me. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Calvin.
Yeah.
You fucking Bond nerd.
With your really spaced out teeth.
Oh, jeez, Daniel, that's personal.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I can blindfold you with dental floss right now. But mate, like, you are literally like
Empress Stone, bro.
It reminds me of The Big Lebowski. I'm gonna just talk to you now. This is my I'm not even that. I'm not really high at all. You know what I mean?
That's because you have a puff and you give it back to me. Like, ooh, that's nice.
Ooh, I'm a weed connoisseur. That's that OG Kush.
Start twisting it like.
You have to inhale it first. You have to do like a ghost puff.
That is some good Mary Jane there, Sean. Here you go. That's me stoned for the next 10 minutes.
That was grown in the fields of Buenos Aires.
Oh, is that grown in Zanzibar?
Is that grown in a loft in Bolton?
It smells like someone shat in a loft next to this. That is when you know it's pure. Pure weed.
All right.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram.
Van Gogh.
Suck on our titties. Yeah, Van Gogh. Make sure if you're in Weymouth, Dorset, area.
Need some shit removing.
Need a house moved.
Van Gogh.
Peace.
Peace.